And dessert today is something that is really a very old recipe, something that comes from an old manuscript that was actually written in the 14th century. And it's something called zucchetti fritti, fried zucchini, done with sugar. This is our dessert. And here I've got zucchini that I've sweated. I've just layered zucchini in a colander and put some salt over it and let it sit there with a bowl of water on top to weigh it down. You want to do that for about an hour or so until all the excess water comes out, because it's difficult to fry if you have too much moisture. Then once you do that, you drain them and you put them into ice water to crisp up the pieces. And there you saw them in cuts of rounds, and here we have them in just strips, and I like to do them in strips. So now I'm going to drain these and show you what to do next. So then once they're drained, I just take them out, put them onto a paper towel or a kitchen towel. I'm not going to do all of them, I'm just going to do a token for you. But it's important that you really get all that extra water off. You don't want all that moisture on there because you're going to have to flour these next. So dry them well. And then I like to cut these up a little bit. These are a little too long. I'll cut those in half, make them like French fries. And then have some flour ready. You want to dredge these in flour. Just want to make sure that those are very, very dry. And I like to do that in a bag because I have more control over the flouring. So you put them in a bag, like that, and just shake the bag, you see? Then take out those zucchini and shake off that excess flour. And there's mine. And meanwhile, I'm heating up here some vegetable oil. So there they are, all floured. And now let's see how we're doing here. I want to turn that oil up. You want this oil at about 375 degrees. So take the pieces, take all that excess flour off, and put them right into the oil. And those you want to let sit there until they're nicely browned. So now, while they're cooking, I got to go on to a snack for you, because we're not done yet. After this meal, you might still be hungry while you're watching the Italian opera. And what do you do then? Well, what you do is you make something called zucchini chips. And this can be done with both red or green and yellow zucchini. I haven't seen a red zucchini anywhere lately. So you want to cut up thin slices of both the yellow, the green, or if you just have one, that's fine. And then I use a dehydrator for this. If you don't have a dehydrator, you could use a rack over a cooling rack over a cookie sheet. And then just layer them on. You see? This is a rack to a dehydrator. Just layer them on, and then you want these to kind of lose their moisture over very, very low heat. Here's a dehydrator, and I already have some that I have been drying, and you see they're starting to get a little bit drier than they have been. So you put these on, and when these are the consistency of a potato chip, that's when you take them out. Speaking of taking things out, let me see how we're doing here. Well, they're not quite ready, but while they are getting ready, what you have ready is some sugar, because you want to put these zucchini strips into some sugar, and before you do that, you want to drain them, again, on paper. So I'm going to take these out now, and they're looking very nice. And isn't this clever of the Italians to have a vegetable as a dessert? So once they're drained like that, and you can handle them, I'm going to get them off that oil, well then, you immediately plop them into the sugar, and again, you do that shake. You get them totally coated with sugar. And what a surprise this is going to be for people who say in your house, what's for dessert?